Hello Biotechnicans, welcome back again. Today I have come up with something really interesting for all of you. It's about a fellowship in India. So when we come across many fellowship, we used to think about how much is the stipend, what's going to be the advantage. But this fellowship which I'm going to talk about is really going to have a wonderful fellowship and also going to give you a PMRF fellow title. So today we'll be talking about PMRF Fellowship in India. I'll be talking about what are the levels that you can apply through and what are the documents that is required to apply, all these things in detail. So with no more delay, let's get started to the video. So what is the objective of this Prime Minister Research Fellowship? The first objective of Prime Minister Research Fellowship is to improve the quality of research in various higher educational institutions in India, very specifically in science and technology. People who want to pursue your PhD in science and technology, then you can go for this PMRF Fellowship. And the second important point is it provides attractive fellowships. That's the main important thing. When you talk about a CSIR fellowship or ICMR fellowship, you used to get a fellowship of rupees 31,000 for JRF and it will be upgraded to SRF, you will be getting rupees 35,000. But this is going to give you a very attractive fellowship that I'll be talking about, and it's also going to attract the best talents into research by realizing the version of developing through a lot of innovations. So this is the objective or the goal or the purpose of the Prime Minister Research Fellowship. Okay, now we know about it's going to give you an attractive fellowship. How much is the fellowship actually going to be? So let's talk that in detail. So suppose if I have to talk about a person who has completed a BTech and they are joining as a PhD research fellow. So if they are joining and if they are getting this PMRF fellowship, how much will their stipend is going to be? Initially, you can see if they join as a first year PhD research holder, they will be having a fellowship of 30,000 per month. This is going to be for 1 month. And in the second year, they'll be getting rupees 70,000. And in the third year, it's going to be 75,000. And on the fourth year, it's 80,000. And in the fifth year, it's going to be 80,000. So this fellowship is definitely going to give you a great financial support, I would say. So don't miss up this fellowship when you are getting notified. And apart from that, they are also going to have a research grant for 1 year, which is 2 lakh for 1 year. Based on this, you can actually purchase your stationery things and whatever according to the institution, you can literally purchase. This is a direct PhD fellowship. Suppose after your BTech, if you want to pursue your PhD, then this is going to be the stipend that you'll be getting every month. Suppose if you are a student who has completed a master's and now you have enrolled for a PhD, if you're going to get a PMRF fellowship, how much is the stipend going to be? In the first year itself, you'll be getting 70,000. In the second year, you'll be getting 75,000. In the previous, we have seen in the second year, you'll be getting 70,000. But here, you'll be getting 75,000 in the second year for 1 month. And on the third year, it's 80,000. And on the fourth year, it's 80,000. So it's going to be a very big financial benefit, I would say. So don't miss out this one. And the same research grant is going to be rupees 2 lakh for 1 year. Okay, now we understood about the stipendship. We know it's really going to be a great prestigious fellowship with a high financial support for all the PhD aspirant who want to actually carry out this. What about the PMRF Granting Institute? In this video, I'll be mentioning a lot of time PMRF Granting Institute. Who are involved in this? So all the IITs, all the IISers, and NIT, very specifically NIT Trichy, and we'll be talking about all the institutions. You can literally see Banaras Hindu University, IAC Bangalore, and all the IISers. So all the IISers are involved. They are actually participating, and you can see all the IITs are actually given. And the next you can see University of Hyderabad and Aligarh Muslim University and National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli very specifically, and Jawaharlal Nehru University, Jamia Millia Islamia, and University of Delhi, and all of the IITs and IISers are actually going to be PMRF granting institutes. So people can go and register their PhD in any of these PMRF granting institutes, and I'll be very specifically talking about this PMRF in the eligibility criteria. So make sure you're understanding this PMRF granting institutions. Okay, so how is the process of this PMRF scheme going to be? There are two channels where you can actually apply, and I'll be very specifically talking about who can apply in the direct entry level and who can apply in the lateral entry level. So there are two channels. So first is direct entry level, the second is lateral entry level. Okay, what about the direct entry level? So what are the criteria? What are the eligibility criteria? Suppose you want to apply through a direct entry level. So make sure you're understanding every eligibility criteria carefully. And we can see if anybody who have completed or pursuing their final year, if you have completed your BTech bachelor's or if you have completed your master's in any science and technology, or if you're pursuing final year, BTech final year, or somebody might have completed your BTech final year and you'll be pursuing your master's also. If you are in the final year or completed either bachelor's or master's from any institute in or university in India which is approved by the government of India, not the primary PMRF granting institute I'm talking about, it can be any universities or any institutes under government of India, you need to have a CGPA score of 8.0. It can be above or 8.0 it has to be, and very specifically you need to have a GATE score of 650. It's not GATE marks, it's going to be GATE score of 650 marks. And you have to be, if you have completed, suppose if you're going to ask me a question, ma'am, I've completed my BTech 4 years before or 5 years before, then you cannot apply for it. It has to be within 3 years or preceding 3 years. If you have completed your BTech in 3 years and if you want to pursue a PhD, then you can go for it. So if you are in the final year or if you have completed within the 3 years at the time of notification along with your CGPA and your GATE score of 650 from any of the university, if you have studied approved by the government, then you can go for the direct entry channel. And the second important thing, suppose if you have graduated or completed or pursuing your final year in BTech or Masters in any one of the PMRF granting institutes like IITs, IAC, NIT, Trichy, and if you're from any of the centrally funded IITs, here the CGPA you have to have 8.01, but you don't have to have your GATE score. If you are from PMRF Institute, if you have done your BTech or bachelor's or master's, you've completed or either in the final year from any of the PMRF Institute, there is a GATE score is waived off for you. So you don't have to have your GATE score. So you can directly apply for this one. The third one is going to be, suppose if you're going to ask me, I'm not in bachelor's, I'm going to be in MTech or MS by research. If you have studied or if you have completed, if you're pursuing your final year or first year MTech or MS in any of the PMRF Institute, you need to have a CGPA of 8 or above, and you need to be at the end of the first semester. It has to be at the end of the first semester. Suppose you're doing your MTech, you have to be at the end of final semester and you need to have a minimum of 4 courses you should have taken. Then you can apply for this one. So there are 3 things that you have to take into consideration. The first thing, if you have completed or you're pursuing your final year BTech or any of your masters in any colleges which is approved by the government of India, you need to have a CGPA of 8 or your GATE score has to be 650. This is one criteria where you can apply to it. And the second criteria, if you have completed or in the final year BTech or master's degree from any of the PMRF Institute which I showed you before, then the GATE score is waived off for you. You don't have to have your GATE score, but you need to have a CGPA of 8. And the third criteria, if you are in the first year or we can say first semester, at the end of first semester, and if you have 4 courses minimum at least in MTech or MS from PMRF granting institutes only, and you need to qualify GATE but they didn't mention how much is going to be your GATE score. You just have to qualify GATE, then you can apply through the direct entry channel. Okay. And if all the criteria is done, what these people has to do? The second thing, they apply and they have to apply to PMRF Institute in the PhD program. Suppose if anybody wants to study in IIT Madras or IIT Delhi, what you have to do? You have to go in for the PhD program in IIT, and then you have to register yourself as a PhD holder. Then only you can apply to this PMRF Fellowship. That's what is the second line. And the third one, the PMRF Granting Institute, whatever we have seen, IIT, ISS, all this thing, which have admitted the students in PhD program through normal selection process. In each institute will have their own type of protocol of recruiting or conducting interviews. So if they have selected the candidate, they are the one who will recommend people. Actually, if there are 100 students who are going to come over there, only one of the student or whomever they consider it's going to be a favorable or having a great merit for them, and they are the one who are going to nominate you and provide you to the PMRF panels. So makes a strong recommendation for the award of PMRF in view of his or her merit. Based on the merit, the institution will take you to the PMRF panel. So the merits on which the candidates will be judged. Suppose if you are applying through the institutions, so they are going to consider your research exposure and how many publications you're going to have. It's actually applicable, if applicable only is given. But if you're going to have it, it's going to be added on value for you. And performance in any of the international academic competitions, any of the competitions, Olympiads, and how is your grades, and also a strong recommendation from the supervisor. If you're going to have a very strong recommendation from the supervisor, it can overtake everything. So that is going to be the third point. Okay, this is all about the direct entry level. We know who can apply. They have to get registered in PMRF for a PhD through a normal recruitment process, and these department is going to recruit the candidate and give it to the PMRF panel, and they will recruit the candidate based on the research exposure, publications, and international academic grades and competitions, and very specifically the recommendations from the supervisor. The second one is going to be the lateral entry channel. Okay, what is this? Suppose you can ask me a question. I was not aware of the previous case, but I have registered in a PhD program in a PMRF Granting Institute. Can I now apply for this PMRF Fellowship? Definitely. Suppose if you have registered your PhD in IIT Delhi or IIT Madras, anywhere else, any of the central universities, and if you are a PhD student that moment, then you can also apply for it. There is opportunity, but you can apply only through a lateral entry channel. So let's talk about it. The candidate should be pursuing PhD in one of the PMRF granting institutions. Now I'm telling all these things before. What is this PMRF Granting Institute? Those institute, if you're pursuing a PhD, then what are the things that they have to do? He or she should have completed almost 12 months in the PhD program if she or he has joined the program with a master's degree. Okay, after completing your master's degree, if you have joined IIT Madras, suppose let's take it as an example. In IIT Madras, you have to complete 12 months there. Suppose I'm talking about 2023. Suppose let's talk about 2023, the notification. Usually it will come during July or August period, this notification. Suppose July or August if this notification is going to come. So that time when can I apply? If you have completed your master's degree. So you have to be registered to your PhD program by at least 12 months before. So you need to register by 2022. Then by 2023, you can apply for this one. That's what they are telling. He or she should have completed almost 12 months in the PhD program if they have joined with the master's degree. That's the first thing. Suppose if you are someone who has completed bachelor's only, then what you can do? Should have completed at most of the times 24 months in the PhD program if they have joined with a bachelor's degree. Suppose you are a BTech student and you have registered for a PhD in IIT Madras or IIC or wherever it is. You need to have completed almost 24 months. Which means, if suppose anybody wants to apply in 2023, which means you should have had your date of admission has to be by 2021. 1. Then only you can actually apply for it within the period of 2 years at the time of notification I'm talking about. So the relevant period, whether it is 12 months or 24 months, will be counted on the date of admission. That's what I'm telling you. If you have had your PhD admission 2021 here, your PhD admission here 2021, then you can apply for 2023 that time. So it is based on the date of admission that you have actually entered your PhD. Okay. A candidate can be considered at most twice through lateral entry. Okay. It will be considered twice. You can apply twice the time. Suppose if you have a duration of 2 years, you can apply, then you can try applying for 2 times also. In case of integrated, suppose if you are a candidate having integrated MTech or MSc or PhD program, then you will also be eligible for 12 months period. 12 months period also you are eligible, similar to that of a MSc graduate student. So this is about the lateral entry ones. Okay, the second point, the candidate should have at least, okay, we now know what is the criteria for lateral entry level, whether you have completed your master's or your BTech and then registered in a PhD program in any of the PMRF institutes. Or if you are integrated, how much date of admission you need to have when the time of notification comes, I told you. The second, you need to have at least 4 courses. Same cases like direct entry level in PhD program, which means they're talking about the coursework. Coursework having any 4 courses, each of which should be a full semester course. It has to be a full semester course, and very important one. You need to have a CGPA of 8.5 to 10 or higher than that, we can say, during your PhD time. This is very important. And this PMRF granting institute that we have seen, in which the student is enrolled, they are only going to nominate you, makes a strong recommendation for the candidate and uploads all the relevant information of the candidate whom they are going to apply in the PMRF website, which means the guide through the department, through the institution, it goes through the PMRF portal. You will not be going and applying if you have registered in a PMRF institutes. This include research proposal, all the soft copy of all the publication. We'll be talking about the documents in detail. The next one, the candidate continues to work only in the host institute. Suppose if you have joined your PhD in IIT Delhi and transfers to another PMRF eligible institute is not possible. If you have taken your PMRF fellowship in one institute, suppose if you wish to change to another institute, you cannot avail the PMRF in another institute. That's what it is. Further, once enrolled in a PhD program through lateral entry, the candidate will not be considered for direct entry in the next years. So if you get through lateral entry, you will get only through the lateral entry. It is not possible for you to go for direct entry level. Okay, so how is this lateral entry channel is also based on? The candidates are judged mainly based on the research proposal, publications and grades, and due weightages will be given in most of the time in reputed journals and conferences. If you have your publication in journals and conferences along with your recommendation letter from the supervisor where you're working under. So this is about the lateral entry channel. Okay, now I told about the direct entry fellows. So if you are going to be a direct entry fellow, what are the documents you have to provide it to the institution, and the institution will be applying in the PMRF portals. So first thing is name of the degree prior to your PhD. So what are the degree? I already talked about who is eligible for this direct entry fellowship. So if you have a bachelor's, you need to have your bachelor's degree certificates. So degree certificate is mandatory, very important. And I also talked about the gate score. If you are from some other colleges, not PMRF ones, then you need to have your gate score. And MTech and MSc students, or we can say MS students, MTech and MS students who are in PMRF institutes, but they have to qualify GATE. So that time your GATE score, GATE card is actually important. So that is applicable, and very important, a statement of purpose, SOP, 1 page maximum is actually mandatory here. And you need to have your proposal keywords, your sub areas, and very important, your resume or your CV. And if you have cleared any of the exams, CSAR certificate if you have, then you can, if available, then you can give that. And if you had any experience of your internship or your projects, then you can have your certificates given. and your publications details if you have, which journal you have actually published, and any other relevant information if you think that it can add up to your score, or you can really get PMRF fellowship, then you can add up your documents also. Suppose if you are a candidate who are going to apply through a lateral entry level, then what are the documents you need? So you need to have your degree, what are all the degree certificates, and your grade card, all the grade card. PhD coursework, I especially told you about the CGPA has to be 8.5 for PhD coursework, and all the grade cards and GATE scorecard if you have, and if you have cleared CSIR, any exams that can be done, and research proposal, 3-page maximum, and you need to have your background and what's the motivation and the objective of the research and the tentative timeline to complete it. All these things are mandatory, and all the keywords, sub areas, and very specifically your resume, your CV, and if you have any certificates based on your internship or projects, then you can apply for it. Then publication details and any relevant documents if you're going to have it, then you can also go for it. Endorsement by the applicant that the research proposal submitted is original. That's very important, which means you have to check your research proposal through your plagiarism checker software. So plagiarism check with similarity score less than 20%, it has to be there, generated by any of the plagiarism check software. That endorsement also has to be submitted if you are going to apply through a lateral entry scheme. So make sure you're understanding what is direct and lateral entry once. Okay. So the next question for us might be, suppose if I'm a candidate who is not from a PMRF institute, suppose I have registered in a PhD from an institute which is not under PMRF, can I also apply? If you're going to ask me, yes, you can apply, but the thing is the institution is not going to do the same thing as if for the PMRF fellow. So here, suppose if you are a PhD student who is in a non-PMRF institute, not in any of the institute which I was talking about, then if you can apply, yes, you can apply. But the thing is, you have to go to the PMRF portal, which is www.pmrf.in. You have to go to the portal and upload all the things like gate cards or whatever documents I've been speaking about. You can apply to it. And through that documents, it will be taken to the PMRF panel. And this PMRF panel only decides whether to give a PMRF fellowship to you or not. This criteria only I was talking about. This is the most maximum scenario that we can say. People who have registered a PhD in PMRF institutes and that doesn't go through this central portal. The student will not go and the PhD student will not go and apply for it. Instead, it goes through the department. It goes through the guide and then through the department, and the department will get all the documents from you and they will be giving it to the PMRF panel, which means the PMRF panel is going to be common for both the scenarios. So it can be either in a PhD in a non-PMRF institute or PhD in a PMRF institute. If PMRF institute, if you're doing PhD, then it goes through the department and then to the PMRF panel. Yes. So you can literally go to www.pmrf.in and you can check all the eligibility criteria and all the guidelines. If you have doubts regarding it, you can also mail them. I'll be showing that at the later cases. Okay, what about the other informations about this PMRF fellowship? So each fellow would be eligible for research grant, which I told you rupees 2 lakh. I already told you if you are going to be getting this PMRF fellowship, you'll be getting 70,000 initially and it will be increased at the end of 5 years 80,000. Along with that, every year you will be getting rupees 2 lakh, which means if it's going to be for 5 years, you will be getting rupees 10 lakh for 5 years, which is for your personal things. And the tenure of the fellowship will be till the end of the 4th year of PhD for students from integrated courses. This is the most important line I can say. How much is the tenure period of the fellowship if anybody has integrated PhD? So it is only for 4 years. And till the end of the 5th year of the PhD for BTech students. Suppose if you are a BTech student and registered a PhD in PMRF Institute, then you can avail it for 5 years. But if it's integrated PhD, then it is only for 4 years. And for students selected through lateral entry, the PMRF scholarship and obligations will continue only for the remainder of the students stay in the doctoral program. If you are staying in the doctoral program in the same institute, then it is applicable. And very important, in some institutes, not exactly in all the institute, if you have become a PMRF fellow, there would be actually a state of every day, every year checking will be there, where you have to sometimes publish a research paper every year, and there would be a monetary benefits also for you apart from that, and you will also be checked every year. And this is about the most important thing. Suppose if you're going to ask me a question, I have done my PhD in one college and I want to shift it to another college. So can I get a PMRF fellowship in that college? No. Suppose if you have availed a PMRF fellowship in one of the institution, if you are changing over to another institution, you will not be able to do that. So make sure where you're exactly doing, you're going to get the PMRF only in that host institutes only. Okay. So I've been talking about all the things in detail. So before that, I would like to take you to the PMRF official website, and I'll be talking about, and then we'll come and we will talk about the later things in detail. So now let me show you this PMRF official website, and let's show you some frequently asked questions and what are the guidelines, everything in the website, so that you will have a clear idea about it. You can literally see the page like this. Just click on to PMRF and you will be directed to this page. So this is the official website. You are gonna actually see everything here. You can literally see guidelines here. You can see the guideline here. This is the guideline we were actually talking about, all the guidelines. You can check here. And this is the deliverables, which means what are the things that you will be getting. And then this is all about the fellowship amount actually. I just talked about if you're BTech, how much it's going to be. After your MSc, how much fellowship you'll be getting. And you'll be having a lot of frequently asked questions here. So you can literally see this, all these things. If you have so many doubts about what are the things I can do, if I'm from this field, what can I do? If you have such kind of questions, you can literally go to this frequently asked questions and check over. And if you have any more questions regarding this, then you can go to this contact number and get in touch with them. And if you have any more questions about PMRF in detail, you can just put your questions in the comment section and we'll definitely gonna revert back to you. So today I was talking about one of the most prestigious fellowship in India, which is PMRF Fellowship. So we were talking about what is the eligibility criteria, what are the channels that you can apply through, and what are the documents that you will be needing at the time of uploading, whether through the institutional one or if you are from a non-PMRF institute, if you're going to apply it directly, everything. And I also been showing you the official website along with some frequently asked questions. You can just go and check in over in their website and you can also contact. And if you have many doubts regarding it, you can put your questions in the comment section and we'll definitely gonna revert back to you. Thank you all of you for joining, and I'm gonna meet you back again in the next video. If you really like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel Biotecnika. Thank you all of you.